Alright guys, so I'm going to give you guys an update aftermath video of Clinton County where we ran my 1990 Toyota Carolla All-Trak wagon and an early 2000s Hyundai Elantra which had no front end. We ended up putting a Nissan Altima front end on it. And you guys, I'm sorry about not having videos up recently. My phone, the one I normally recorded videos with, the one that had all the stockpile videos, it got broken earlier this month, so I lost all the footage from Governor that I had still, all the update videos for building the car, and just about everything for both of these cars I lost. So this is probably the first time you guys are seeing it. I think this is the second time you're seeing the Toyota since I got it. So I built the Toyota since November, and the Hyundai I built in 2 weeks. But we'll start off with the Toyota today. I ended up getting third with this car. Didn't place for the feature because they only take top two in Mad Dog. Well, I ended up right at the end. This piece popped out, killed the car, and then my battery died because I tried starting again. This goes right to the starter and it engages. I should have had it clicked one over, and then when I press it in, it would normally engage my starter, but the battery is dead at the moment, so no help there. All in all, the car held up great in the front, the back end. These cars are made to go down, the frame rails arch down, and it did. But what happened was I ended up moving the whole floor back here, this stabilizing structure for the metal. I tore it out right here. It started to tear. It's starting to separate up where the seam is. This side's not separated yet. And then it went down, of course. It packed in pretty well. I had a PT Cruiser parked in it a few times, and I was using it for a good amount of the heat. Driver's side started separating here, separated up here at the top of the shock tower. You can see the donut down there. Had that hole here. Well, that ended up cracking all the way up. Then it went all the way down. So this side's pretty junk. Then that's about it. It didn't shift anything from here forward, but this whole back half shifted pretty good. Front end wise, still a pretty good car. I got my plated up rims with the valve stem protectors on it. I put tubes in them a few days before Derby. Had to put a new tread on this one because the old tread was just falling apart. The beads were breaking and it was really bad. But this fender held up pretty good. Only got some damage right here and up in the front. Bumper curled a little bit and the core support did not move. No damage to the core support yet. The hood bent over the core support and started to. I got inch thick all thread, and I have 8 bolts going around the outside of the hood. As you can see, there's going all the way around front too. I'll go over to the other side, show you the other side's front end, show you how it didn't really move. My plates ended up holding in all 4 spots, except this one almost ripped right out. But all 4 spots in the trunk it held. Bumper took a nick in the back here and actually started to tear the front plating off, but got a dent here and a dent in the door. Nothing major. Core support hasn't moved. Frame hasn't really moved. That side it moved a little bit in, but nothing major. This car, if I can get it running, we might try to kicker class it in the back and run it again. But we'll see with that in the future. Let's go take a look at this Hyundai now. Back end of this car, I had it creased and all threaded, and it went perfectly up. Bumper is curled right now into the bottom of the lid for the trunk right now into the panel. It's a plastic bumper, but the frame rails went right up. I dimpled it on the back here, which you'll see better up front. I had it creased in the sides up into the trunk point here, and that ended up folding in pretty good on both sides. The trunk went up, and the all-thread, it pulled the floor up. Unfortunately, it made it so I couldn't really see out the back, but ended up, this one took some good shots in the passenger side. These doors are pretty well put in. The front fender, this is a Nissan Altima front fender. It did have a hood. That ended up, the hood itself, we broke off of the mounts right off the hinges. Yeah, I left my airbag in on the passenger side too. Unfortunately, it went off. That was pretty loud. I was kind of expecting it to go off, so I wasn't worried. But I'll show you in the back here. If you see that pink line back there, that's where my crease line was on that side. Then on this side, it hasn't collapsed yet, but you can see that it's starting to go up right there. So this back end is actually going to fold really nicely if I can get the trunk back pushed down, tighten up the all-thread. It'd be real nice trunk. Door's pretty in there. Ended up, the fenders are from a Nissan Altima, and this one folded pretty much in a teepee. It actually brought the fender up, and it's over its bolts right now. This is where the bolts go for it going all the way up, and it's actually overlapping itself. Radiator is shot. Core support is pretty well shot. That's actually how it bent. No like pulling it out or anything. This is how it bent. There was a stack right here, and we broke the stack. It came off right here. It broke off right there, and I actually started to catch the radiator on fire from just the heat coming out of it. Engine still runs. This car got 4th place, and I couldn't shift anymore. The bumper is actually off the frame rails, both sides. It broke off. Frame's pretty well twisted. It's I think it's a late 70s, early 80s Ford bumper, back or front, I don't know. The only flat on any of my cars is this one right here. Didn't slow it down too much, but did make a difference. This fender flattened out pretty well. I actually started to rip the bolts back out. Curled the bottom. Driver's side's pretty well untouched. And then we come back here and you can see the crease back end. This side's folded a little more than passenger side, but it's up. That's where the frame rail is right here. And it goes perfectly up and in, almost like Crown Vic, starting to pull itself into the center. But if I can pull this trunk lid, bend it over everything, can loosen up that and just get a chain, pull it out, hammer it back down, and then tighten up that all-thread. It's a pretty great back end. It's packing in perfect. And this car, if we can get it thrown back together, I might just cut the front end off and start modifying it, but we'll make another run if we can do it. We'll see. Both my cars still have life in them to a degree, so we'll see how it goes. This door's still open when I came off the track, but they used an excavator to load it and crunch the door in, so I don't even have to chain it anymore. No worries. It's not opening. Wire held up pretty good. This side snapped, ripped right out. But we'll catch you guys later. I'm running past 10 minutes, but that's both of my cars from Clinton County, and hopefully, I don't know if I'm running Westport yet. It depends if work comes into play or not. But we might have one going for me for Westport, and then one at the mod show if Westport still has one. But we'll catch you guys later. Bye.